Hey, crime connoisseurs. If you're like me, you love diving into a good book. I especially love finding a book about cases we cover. But sometimes it's hard to find the time to sit and read. We live in an on-the-go society. Thankfully, Audible makes it easy to instantly access the books we love without sacrificing our time. With over 180,000 audiobooks and more, you will undoubtedly find one that will grip you and leave you not wanting to pull away while still being able to do other things. You can get a free 30-day trial membership by going to audibletrial.com/ccpod to start listening to your favorite books. That's audibletrial.com/ccpod for your free 30-day trial membership. Hey, crime connoisseurs. I'm your host, Grace D. And today we're going to dive into one of the most infamous cases in American history. One that many of you are probably so familiar with, but it's often correlated with the man accused of the crimes and not the victims themselves. We're going to be covering the tragic murders of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman. On one fateful night in 1994, the lives of Nicole and Ron were brutally cut short, sending shockwaves through the nation and forever etching their names into the chronicles of true crime. Join me as we unravel the intricate web of events surrounding this haunting case, exploring the investigation, the trial, and the enduring legacy that still resonates today. However, as so often in the telling of this case, Nicole and Ron become background characters, if not forgotten altogether, in the O.J. Simpson story. So that must be different for the case with us. The telling of O.J., the trial that became a media circus, and the aftermath of everything are inevitable. But I'm going to do my damnedest to showcase Nicole and Ron as the main characters like they rightfully deserve to be. So, crime connoisseurs, prepare to be captivated as we embark on this journey into the heart of darkness. 30 years to the day. This is the case of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman. On June 13, 1994, at 12:10 a.m., the bodies of a man and a woman were discovered brutally murdered at 875 South Bundy Drive in Brentwood, Los Angeles, California. It was determined that the woman was the homeowner, Nicole Brown Simpson, and the man was Ronald, who goes by Ron, L. Goldman. Who were Nicole and Ron? For that, we need to go back to the beginning. Nicole Brown Simpson was born on May 19, 1959, in Frankfurt, West Germany, to parents Juditha Judy and Louis Lou Brown. Her mother was German, and her father was an American who served in the Air Force. She was the second of 4 daughters, Denise, Dominique, and Tanya being the other 3. From her father's previous marriage, she also had 2 older half-sisters, Wendy and Margaret, and 1 older half-brother, Tracy. When Denise and Nicole were toddlers, the family moved to Garden Grove, California, before Dominique and Tanya were born. Judy and Lou brought their kids up Catholic. Nicole's early life was characterized by happiness and ease. Transitioning to an American lifestyle was seamless for her. She enjoyed the proximity to the beach, and when Nicole and Denise were in high school, the family moved to Monarch Beach in the coastal city of Dana Point. Nicole was crowned homecoming princess at Dana Hills High School the year after her sister Denise was also crowned homecoming princess. She excelled both academically and socially. In an interview with The Times, her former teacher, Bill Prestridge, said, quote, "Nicole was bubbly, always happy and smiling. She was more mature than other students. You almost got the idea that she was ready to get out of high school and go on to bigger and better things." End quote. When Nicole was 18, she started working at the Daisy, an upscale Beverly Hills club. Her radiant personality and captivating charm made her a beloved figure among her peers, and it wasn't long before she caught the eye of O.J. Simpson. In 1977, Simpson went to the Daisy where Nicole was his waitress. He was instantly enchanted by her gorgeous looks. By the time she enrolled at Saddleback College in 1977, she had already begun dating Simpson. A few months later, Nicole moved in with him and dropped out of school because O.J. required that she'd be with him. Despite being married, O.J. began a relationship with Nicole. He told Nicole that his marriage was over and that he and Marguerite were in the process of getting a divorce. At that time, O.J. had 2 children with Marguerite, Arnell and Jason, and another was on the way. Their 3rd child was a little girl named Erin, who was born on September 24, 1977. Nicole and O.J. Simpson's significant 12-year age gap posed no obstacle as their love deepened. Eventually, Simpson finalized his divorce from Marguerite in March 1979. Sadly, 5 months after the divorce was finalized, little Erin, just shy of her 2nd birthday, drowned in the family pool at Rockingham, where Marguerite at first remained while Simpson rented a house with Nicole in Beverly Hills. As Simpson's fame soared, Nicole was thrust into the spotlight, becoming a prominent figure in the celebrity world. Nicole and Simpson were married on February 2, 1985, 5 years after he retired from professional football. The couple had 2 children, Sydney Brooke Simpson, born on October 17, 1985, and Justin Ryan Simpson, born on August 6, 1988. Nicole loved being a mom. Not long after, trouble began for Nicole and O.J. Simpson's relationship. In 1985, it was reported that LAPD Detective Mark Furman responded to a call at the Rockingham house. He arrived to find a woman crying and a Mercedes-Benz with the windshield smashed in. Nicole told Furman that Simpson had smashed it with a bat. In an interview with People in 2019, Nicole's sister Tanya Brown described how important motherhood was to her. She said, quote, "Nicole was a mom first and foremost. Her kids were her life. She always wanted to make sure that they were having fun and being kids." End quote. Nicole's love for her children was evident in how she prioritized their well-being and happiness. As a mother, Nicole was known for her nurturing and caring nature. She created a warm and loving home environment for Sydney and Justin, ensuring they felt safe and supported. Nicole's friends and family often spoke of her dedication to her children and her desire to provide them with a stable upbringing. Nicole actively participated in her children's lives, attending their school events and extracurricular activities and cheering them on from the sidelines. She encouraged their interests and passions, fostering an environment where they could explore their talents and grow as individuals. Despite the challenges she faced in her personal life, Nicole remained a steadfast presence in her children's lives. She strived to shield them from the difficulties she experienced, always putting their needs first. Nicole's love for Sydney and Justin was unwavering, and she cherished the time they spent together. Let's talk about Ron before we go on. Who was Ron Goldman? Ronald Lyle Goldman was born to the parents Fred and Sharon Goldman on July 2, 1968, in Buffalo Grove, Illinois. Growing up, Ron was known for his outgoing and friendly nature, which endeared him to those around him. He had a close-knit relationship with his family, including his sister Kim and his stepbrother Michael. Ron attended Adelaide E. Stevenson High School in Lincolnshire, Illinois, where he excelled both academically and athletically. He actively participated in various sports, including wrestling and track and field, showcasing his determination and competitive spirit. After graduating from high school, Ron pursued his passion for helping others by enrolling in culinary school. He developed a love for cooking and dreamed of opening his own restaurant someday. Ron's dedication and talent in the kitchen earned him a reputation as a skilled chef in training. Ron Goldman was known for his active involvement in volunteer activities. He had a strong sense of community and a desire to make a positive impact on the lives of others. Ron was a mentor in the Big Brothers Big Sisters program, providing guidance and support to a young boy needing a positive role model. He dedicated his time to building a meaningful relationship and helping his mentee navigate life's challenges. Ron also had a deep love for animals and often volunteered at local animal shelters. He would assist with tasks such as feeding, grooming, and walking the shelter dogs. Ron's compassion for animals was evident in his dedication to their well-being. Ron recognized the struggles faced by the homeless and actively volunteered at homeless shelters. He helped serve meals, distribute clothing and hygiene products, and engaged in conversations to offer support and encouragement. He also participated in community cleanup initiatives where he joined others in picking up litter, beautifying public spaces, and promoting environmental awareness. He believed in the importance of caring for the community and positively impacting future generations. Ron Goldman's volunteer activities reflected his kind-hearted nature and his commitment to making a difference in the lives of others. His selflessness and dedication to various causes continue to inspire others to this day. I've seen in various sources that Ron Goldman had a passion for martial arts, particularly karate, that he was dedicated to his practice and found joy in the discipline, physical fitness, and mental focus that karate provided. Supposedly, Ron trained in karate for several years, consistently attending classes and honing his skills, progressing through the ranks, earning various belt levels based on his proficiency and knowledge of martial arts. It's been said that Ron participated in karate competitions, showcasing his skills and competing against other practitioners. However, I have searched and could not find any photos or records of Ron Goldman competing in any karate competitions. In fact, Ron's sister Kim stated on her podcast Confronting O.J. Simpson that Ron did not practice karate. No firsthand accounts from those who knew Ron Goldman knew of him doing any form of martial arts. In 1992, seeking new opportunities and a change of scenery, Ron made the decision to move to Los Angeles, California. Uncover the secrets of your dog's DNA with Wisdom Panel, the world's leading canine genetics test. With a simple cheek swab, Wisdom Panel can reveal your dog's breed, ancestry, health traits, and so much more. Understanding your dog's genetic background can help you provide the best care possible. Whether it's identifying potential health risks, understanding their behavior, or simply satisfying your curiosity about your dog's unique heritage, Wisdom Panel delivers the insights you need. Their state-of-the-art technology analyzes over 350 breeds, types, and varieties, and screens for over 200 genetic health conditions. Plus, their easy-to-understand reports make it simple to learn about your dog's genetics. Join the millions of pet parents discovering their dog's story with Wisdom Panel. Order your kit today and start exploring your dog's DNA. Because every dog has a tale, and Wisdom Panel helps you tell it. Go to wisdompanel.pxf.io/ccpod to learn more about your four-legged friend. That's wisdompanel.pxf.io/ccpod. He found work at a trendy restaurant called Mezzaluna, where he quickly became a beloved member of the staff. Ron's warm personality and exceptional customer service skills made him a favorite among patrons. During his time at Mezzaluna, Ron met Nicole Brown Simpson. They struck up a friendship, and he often went above and beyond to ensure her safety and well-being. They quickly discovered shared interests and a genuine connection that went beyond their professional interactions. Nicole and Ron were known to spend time together outside of the restaurant, often engaging in activities such as going to the gym, grabbing coffee, or simply enjoying each other's company. Their friendship grew stronger over time as they confided in one another and provided support during challenging moments in their lives. Despite their 10-year age difference, Nicole was 35 and Ron was 25 at the time. Their friendship was characterized by mutual respect and camaraderie. They found solace in each other's presence and shared a bond that transcended their individual circumstances. Now, let's jump back to Nicole. Nicole and Simpson's marriage was a rocky one. Simpson built a great relationship with the cops in Brentwood, where he lived with Nicole. That relationship with the police would come to benefit him when Nicole started making 911 calls about him beating her. In one instance, in 1989, Detective John Edwards, who was a patrolman at the time, responded to a domestic violence call at Rockingham to find Nicole huddling in the bushes, barely clothed, wearing sweatpants and a bra, and beaten, telling him, quote, "He's going to kill me," end quote, as she collapsed into his arms. He asked, "Who's going to kill you?" And she said, "OJ. Detective Edwards said, "OJ who? You mean the football player?" And she said, "Yes, OJ Simpson, the football player." Nicole had a black left eye, a cut lip, and a bruised forehead, and there was a handprint on her neck. Detective Edwards asked Nicole if she wanted to press charges, and she said yes. Detective Edwards informed O.J. Simpson that he was being placed under arrest. Then, O.J. drove off in his blue Bentley to avoid being arrested. It wasn't the first time. In fact, it was the 8th time officers had responded to Nicole's calls to come to the house. Nicole went to the police department the next day and told them that she didn't really want to press charges, but since she had signed the police report, they were obligated to kick it up to the LA City Attorney's Office, which filed domestic violence charges against O.J. Simpson, who had just co-starred in The Naked Gun and was working as a broadcaster for NBC Sports at the time. He ended up pleading no contest to misdemeanor spousal battery. He was sentenced to 120 hours of community service, 2 years of probation, and twice-a-week counseling, as well as ordered to pay $500 in restitution to a battered women's shelter. Nicole even spoke directly to the CEO of Hertz to let him know that all the stories about Simpson being a wife beater were false. Things only got worse. Simpson's infidelity was less hidden. Once he even said that he was with another woman because Nicole had gotten too fat from her pregnancy. Nicole finally separated from Simpson and filed for divorce on February 25, 1992. In her affidavit petitioning for spousal and child support, Nicole stated, quote, "I only attended junior college for a very short time because he wanted me to be available to travel with him whenever his career required him to go to a new location, even if it was for a short period of time. I have no other college education, and I hold no degrees. I am not currently employed and spend my time caring for 2 young children." End quote. During a court-ordered meeting with a career counselor, she said that her only goal at the time was to raise her kids well. Quote, "Beyond that, I haven't thought about me. I'm sure I will get a goal someday." End quote. They settled their divorce in October 1992, with O.J. Simpson agreeing to pay Nicole a lump sum of $433,750 plus $10,000 a month in child support. Nicole also retained the deed on a rental property in San Francisco. Nicole's strength and resilience shone through as she sought to rebuild her life after her divorce from Simpson. She focused on raising their 2 children, Sydney and Justin, and embraced a newfound independence, determined to create a brighter future for herself and her family. Nicole had a supposed on and off relationship with another great football player, Marcus Allen, who was also OJ's friend. Marcus Allen denied their relationship during a deposition, but others who knew the pair said otherwise. The rumors were first publicly presented in the 1994 book Nicole Brown Simpson, The Private Diary of a Life Interrupted, written by Faye Resnick, a friend of Nicole Brown Simpson's. In the 5-part documentary, O.J. Made in America, Mike Gilbert, who represented both Simpson and Allen, also said, quote, "Do we all believe that right toward the very end, when they had split up after Mother's Day, that Nicole was not seeing Marcus again? I absolutely believe that she was. And O.J. told Nicole, 'You ever see Marcus again, I will kill you.'" End quote. Faye Resnick described how Simpson once showed up at Nicole's house and revealed that he spied on Nicole and a man having relations the night before. That man was Keith Zlomsowicz, manager of Mezzaluna. They were together for a while before eventually parting ways. Despite all they had been through, Nicole wanted to reconcile with Simpson. She wanted to make things work and put their family back together. The two gave it another go for the sake of their family. Unfortunately, the good times didn't last long. On October 25, 1993, Nicole called 911, telling the dispatcher with an audibly shaky voice that Simpson had just broken into her home. I'm going to play part of that call for you guys. Here, take a listen. Does your furry friend deserve the best? Of course they do. That's why there's Box Dog, a seasonal box of premium products designed just for your pooch. With Box Dog, you can spoil your pet with a fun and exciting selection of high-quality items. From gourmet treats and chew toys to comfy apparel and unique accessories, Box Dog has it all. Each box is packed with hand-selected products guaranteed to wag tails and bring joy. But Box Dog isn't just about products. It's about providing a personalized experience for your pet. You can customize each box to suit your dog's specific needs and preferences, ensuring they get what they love every time. And the best part? Box Dog delivers straight to your door, making it a convenient and hassle-free way to keep your pet pampered. So why wait? Treat your dog to the luxury they deserve with Box Dog, because every dog deserves a box full of happiness. Order your Box Dog today. Go to boxdog.pxf.io/ccpod. That's boxdog.pxf.io/ccpod.
Emergency. Can you get someone over here now to 325 Gretna Green? He's back. Please.
Okay, what does he look like?
He's O.J. Simpson. I think you know his record. Could you just send somebody over here?
Okay, what is he doing there?
He just drove up again.
He just drove
me over.
Okay, wait a minute, what kind of car is he in?
He's in a white Bronco, but first of all, he broke the back door down to get in.
Okay, wait a minute, what's your name?
Nicole Simpson.
Okay, is he the sportscaster or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
Wait a minute, we're sending the police. What is he doing? Is he threatening you?
I'm going nuts.
Okay, has he threatened you in any way, or is he just harassing you?
You're going to hear him in a minute. He's about to go in again.
Okay, just stay on the line.
I don't want to stay on the line. He's going to beat the shit.
Wait a minute, just stay on the line so we can know what's going on until the police get there, okay? Okay, Nicole?
Uh-huh.
Just a moment. Does he have any weapons?
I don't know.
Okay.
He went home, now he's back. The kids are upstairs sleeping, and I don't want anything to happen.
Okay. Has he hit you today or no?
No.
Okay, you don't need any paramedics or anything? Okay. You just want him to leave?
My door. He broke the whole back door in.
And then he left and he came back?
He came and he practically knocked my upstairs door down, but he pounded it, and then he screamed and hollered, and I tried to get him out of the bedroom because the kids are sleeping in there.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then he wanted somebody's phone number, and I gave him my phone book and put my phone book down to write down the phone number that he wanted, and then he took my phone book with all my stuff in it.
The dispatch.
What?
What does he say? Unit, your domestic violence at 30 Crutches 325 South Grizzly Greenway is still too high. The suspect is now entered in the shelter, and it is refusing to leave. Code 2 high, and then 4221 are the 825 children. Just stay on the line, okay? Is he upset with something that you did?
A long time ago, it always comes back.
For the next several months, Nicole lived in her Brentwood home, trying to rebuild her life after the divorce. She was known for her involvement in charity work and was well liked by her friends and community. It's important to note that the events leading up to Nicole's murder are complex and involve personal and sensitive details. The tragedy of her death serves as a reminder of the devastating consequences of domestic violence and the importance of addressing such issues in society. Nicole was rebuilding her newly single life. On June 10, 1994, she went looking for houses in Malibu to put distance between her and Simpson. 2 days later, the Simpson and Brown family attended Sydney's dance recital. After the recital, the family went to the Mezzaluna restaurant in Brentwood, Los Angeles, to celebrate Sydney's dance recital. O.J. Simpson was not invited to join them. Between 8:30 and 9 p.m., Nicole and the kids left the restaurant and returned to her Brentwood residence at 875 South Bundy Drive. At 9:37 p.m., Nicole's mother called and asked if she had left her glasses at Mezzaluna. The manager found her glasses outside and informed her that they would be in an envelope and in their lost and found. Judy said that she lived too far away, but that her daughter Nicole would get them for her. Judy then called Nicole and told her that the restaurant was holding them in an envelope with Nicole's name on it. Nicole called the restaurant and identified herself by saying that her mother had just talked to them. The manager asked her when she would be picking up the glasses. Nicole then asked if Ron was still working, so the manager put her on hold and told Ron that he had a phone call. Ron worked that night, but didn't wait on Nicole and her family. He had clocked out at 9:30 p.m., but was still hanging around, mingling with coworkers at the bar. Ron spoke with Nicole for a bit. When he hung up with Nicole, he hung around for a little bit longer and then asked the manager for the glasses. He told the manager that he would be dropping off the glasses to Nicole before heading to Baja Cantina to meet with friends. Around 9:50 p.m., Ron left Mezzaluna to return the glasses that Judy had left behind. He arrived at Nicole's residence to drop off the glasses. Between 10:15 p.m. and 10:40 p.m., it is believed that during this time, Nicole and Ron were attacked and brutally murdered outside of Nicole's home. It is speculated that Nicole may have heard a noise or disturbance outside and went to investigate. Upon coming outside, she came face to face with her attacker. Nicole sustained multiple sharp force injuries. Her attacker stabbed her 7 times in the scalp and neck. Cuts on her hands indicated that she had fought back against her killer. Nicole was also stabbed 4 times on the left side of her neck. She also had defensive wounds on her hands, indicating that she had fought back against her attacker. It is believed that Ron approached Nicole's home in the middle of the attack, and he tried to defend his friend and help save her. Ron was entrapped in a small enclosed corner of Nicole's yard where he was quickly and savagely murdered while she laid unconscious nearby. The murderer trapped him against an iron fence, and the two had a quick and vicious struggle before Ron Goldman's body was left just a few feet away from Nicole Simpson. The assailant then returned to Nicole, placing a foot on her back, pulling her head back by her hair, and slashing her throat to the bone, literally. The most extensive wound on her body was the gruesome slash across her throat that was over 5 inches long. The cut severed the carotid arteries on both sides of her neck, as well as her jugular veins. It was so deep that the knife left a mark on one of her vertebrae. Nicole was also stabbed 4 times to the left side of the neck. Nicole's face was smashed into a wall when she was attacked. She ended up face down on the ground, and her killer likely delivered the fatal neck wound by grabbing her hair and slashing her throat. In the Chicago Tribune, medical examiner Dr. Lakshamanana, and I'm gonna butcher this last name, so I do apologize. I tried so hard finding the correct pronunciation. Satyavagiswaran, Satyavagiswaran. I apologize for butchering that. But they said, quote, "She was alive at least a minute or more before that last wound was inflicted," end quote. He revealed that Nicole likely died in a matter of minutes afterward, saying, quote, "She would have gone into rapid shock," end quote. Ron Goldman sacrificed his life in an attempt to save another. At 10:54 p.m., a neighbor, hearing a dog's constant barking, discovered Nicole's lifeless body lying near the entrance of her residence. The neighbor immediately called 911 to report the incident. Nicole's dog, an Akita named Kato, named after family friend Kato Kalin, was present at the crime scene. Kato was found outside the townhouse where the crime occurred, covered in blood. The presence of the Akita and its blood-stained appearance raised suspicions and initially led investigators to believe that Kato may have been involved in the attack or witnessed the crime. However, further investigation revealed that Kato had not been directly involved in the assault. Instead, it was determined that Kato had likely been injured while attempting to protect or defend Nicole during the attack. His injuries were consistent with defensive wounds, indicating that he had tried to intervene or fend off the assailant. Kato's presence and injuries were significant in the investigation, as they provided additional evidence of a violent struggle taking place at the crime scene. However, Kato's role as a witness or potential source of information was limited, since animals can't provide verbal testimony or detailed accounts of events. The Los Angeles Police Department responded to the scene and discovered the bodies of Nicole and Ron. At the gruesome scene, police found Nicole lying in the fetal position at the base of the stairs to her home, surrounded by a pool of her blood. She was barefoot and wearing her nightgown, never realizing a predator waited just outside her home. Not only did police happen upon such a tragic and brutal double murder, but they quickly learned that Nicole's children, Sydney and Justin, were asleep upstairs. Police gathered the kids and took them out the back of the home and took them to the police station. After arriving at the scene, the police secured the area to preserve any potential evidence. They established a perimeter and restricted access to authorized personnel only. At about 5 a.m., detectives Mark Furman and Philip Van Adder arrived at Nicole's house. When investigating the scene, the detectives found Nicole lit candles and had a bowl of ice cream that was out and melted. Crime scene investigators documented the scene, taking photographs and making detailed notes of the surroundings, the position of the bodies, and any potential evidence. They collected physical evidence such as blood samples, fingerprints, and DNA samples, which were later analyzed in the lab. Investigators also interviewed witnesses, neighbors, and anyone who might have had relevant information about the crime. Detectives worked closely with forensic experts to analyze the evidence collected from the crime scene. They examined the bloodstains, footprints, and other physical evidence to reconstruct the sequence of events and determine the possible weapon used in the crime. The investigation spanned several months, involving multiple law enforcement agencies and experts. It included extensive background checks on potential suspects, including Nicole's ex-husband, O.J. Simpson. The evidence gathered during the investigation ultimately led to Simpson's arrest and subsequent trial for the murders of Nicole Simpson and Ron Goldman. After investigating the crime scene, Detectives Van Adder and Furman decided that they needed to go tell O.J. Simpson about the death of his ex-wife, Nicole Simpson, and to let them know that they had their children at the police station. At 5:15 to 5:30 a.m., the detectives examined an apparent bloodstain on Simpson's Ford Bronco. Between 5:40 a.m. to 5:50 a.m., Detective Furman decided to jump the wall so the police could enter the estate, since they had unsuccessfully been able to contact O.J. Simpson through the intercom, and the blood was giving them probable cause. Once on the grounds, the detectives awakened Simpson's daughter, Arnell, who was staying in a guest house. She took the police to the house and called Kathy Randa, her father's longtime assistant. It was then that they learned that O.J. Simpson had taken off to Chicago for an event. The bodies of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman were found at around 12:20 a.m. on June 13th, about 20 minutes after Simpson's plane took off for Chicago. Simpson arrived in Chicago around 5:30 a.m. on American Airlines Flight 390. While on the flight, an attendant told investigators that Simpson kept his hand inside a duffel bag as if he was concealing something. Simpson checked into the O'Hare Plaza Hotel at 6:15 a.m. and was given the keys to room 915. About 30 minutes later, a man pumping gasoline at a nearby Amoco station told investigators he noticed somebody who looked like Simpson digging in a wooded field near the hotel. Detective Ronald Phillips called Simpson to tell him the news that his ex-wife had been killed. He seemed deeply upset when Detective Phillips told him about Nicole's death, but Simpson never asked how, where, or when she had been killed. Between 7 to 7:30 a.m., Detective Van Natter declared the area a crime scene and went to get a warrant to search the house. The investigation quickly focused on Nicole's ex-husband, O.J. Simpson, as a suspect. Simpson was arrested on June 17, 1994, after a widely televised low-speed car chase in a white Ford Bronco. Simpson was supposed to surrender himself to police on June 17th, but instead, he fled in a white Ford Bronco driven by his friend Al Cowlings. The chase unfolded on live television, captivating viewers across the nation. The slow-speed pursuit traveled along several Los Angeles freeways, with police vehicles following closely behind the Bronco. During the chase, Simpson was reportedly holding a gun to his head and threatening to harm himself. The chase finally came to an end at Simpson's home in Brentwood, where he surrendered to the authorities. The Bronco chase is remembered as a significant moment in American television history and is often cited as one of the most watched events in television history. O.J. Simpson's trial, famously known as the Trial of the Century, began on January 24, 1995. The trial gained immense media attention and became a cultural phenomenon, captivating audiences worldwide. The prosecution presented a wealth of evidence against Simpson, including DNA evidence, witness testimonies, and a controversial glove found at the crime scene. The defense team, led by renowned attorneys Johnny Cochran, Robert Shapiro, and F. Lee Bailey, employed various strategies, including raising doubts about the evidence and focusing on alleged police misconduct. Simpson verbally and emotionally and physically abused Nicole throughout their relationship and continued after their divorce. In total, prosecutors for Simpson's murder trial found 62 incidences of abusive behavior by Simpson towards Nicole. Nicole had a lockbox with letters of O.J. threatening her and photos of previous beatings. The trial was a media circus. Testimonies were given by forensic experts, family members, friends, law enforcement officials, and more. Everyone who knows about this case knows that during the trial, Nicole and Ron became footnotes in their own murders. It all became about O.J. Simpson, and Nicole and Ron were often forgot about by the media and practically everyone. Throughout the trial, it was revealed that Mark Furman perjured himself when asked if he ever used the N-word. He was recalled to the stand by the defense when recordings of him using the N-word and talking about awful things towards the Black community surfaced. While back on the stand, his time was very short. Take a listen. Hey, crime connoisseurs. If you're like me, you love diving into a good book. I especially love finding a book about cases we cover. But sometimes it's hard to find the time to sit and read. We live in an on-the-go society. Thankfully, Audible makes it easy to instantly access the books we love without sacrificing our time. With over 180,000 audiobooks and more, you will undoubtedly find one that will grip you and leave you not wanting to pull away while still being able to do other things. You can get a free 30-day trial membership by going to audibletrial.com/ccpod to start listening to your favorite books. That's audibletrial.com/ccpod for your free 30-day trial membership.
All right, good afternoon, Detective.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
You're reminded, sir, that you are still under oath. Mr. Ullman, you may proceed.
Detective Furman, was the testimony that you gave at the preliminary hearing in this case completely truthful?
I wish to assert my Fifth Amendment privilege.
Have you ever falsified a police report?
I wish to assert my Fifth Amendment privilege.
Is it your intention to assert your Fifth Amendment privilege with respect to all questions that I ask you?
Yes.
Detective Furman, did you plant or manufacture any evidence in this case?
I assert my Fifth Amendment privilege.
In those moments where you just hear silence and dead air, it's because the mic is muted since Furman's attorney is standing next to him while he's on the stand pleading the Fifth. This baffled people, especially members of law enforcement who felt that he should have answered no instead of pleading the Fifth when asked about planting evidence. It was something that most people feel sealed the fate of the jury, ruining evidence for the prosecution because he just pled the Fifth and did not deny planting any evidence. So it's tainted. It's fruit of the poisonous tree. And that is something that was very damaging in their case. The trial lasted for months and featured dramatic moments such as the famous glove demonstration and the testimonies of key witnesses. Ultimately, on October 3rd, 1995, O.J. Simpson was acquitted of all charges, sparking widespread debate and controversy. Fred and Kim Goldman, Ron's father and sister, filed a civil lawsuit against O.J. Simpson for the deaths of Ron and Nicole. Exactly 1 year and 20 days from the date of O.J. Simpson's exoneration, opening statements began in the civil trial against Simpson. Throughout the trial, jurors heard from 101 witnesses over 41 days of testimony. On February 4th, 1997, the jury found Simpson liable and awarded the Brown and Goldman families $33 million in damages. On March 26, 1997, the court ordered Simpson to turn over his assets, including his 1968 Heisman Trophy, a Warhol painting, and golf clubs. 4 months later, on July 14, 1997, the Brentwood estate was auctioned off, and the new owner soon demolished it. On June 30, 1998, Simpson's attorney appealed the wrongful death award against him, calling the award, quote, excessive and the clear result of passion and prejudice on the part of the jury, end quote. On November 2, 1998, the Brown and Goldman families split proceeds from an auction of O.J. Simpson's belongings. In 1999, O.J. Simpson and the Brown family negotiated a custody arrangement for Sydney and Justin. The following year, in August 2000, Simpson moved from California to Florida, where homes and pensions cannot be seized to pay for civil liabilities in other states. In November 2006, it was formally announced that Simpson would be part of a book titled If I Did It, which would be released on November 30th, 2006. A special exclusive interview with Judith Regan about the book would air on Fox. The first version's cover, as released by HarperCollins, shows a photograph of Simpson with the words "I did it" in red and the word "if" in white. The Beaufort version had the words "I did it" in large type and the word if written in a tiny font and placed at the top of the I. Neither version of the book has Simpson's name on the front cover. If I Did It ignited a storm of pre-publication controversy, mainly due to the perception that Simpson was trying to profit from the two deaths which his civil suit verdict had found him liable of. Sarah Nelson, editor-in-chief of Publishers Weekly, said, quote, "This is not about being heard. This is about trying to cash in a pathetic way on some notoriety," end quote. Patricia Schroeder, president and chief executive of the Association of American Publishers, felt that the book would, quote, "stir an awful lot of debate and make the culture take a real look at itself, and that may not be unhealthy," end quote. Denise Brown, Nicole's sister, expressed her hope that the publisher would take, quote, "full accountability for promoting the wrongdoing of criminals and leveraging this forum and the actions of Simpson to commercialize abuse," end quote. She went on to say that Simpson's two children would be, quote, "exposed to his inexplicable behavior, and we will provide them with our love and support during this time. It's unfortunate that O.J. Simpson has decided to awaken a nightmare that we have painfully endured and worked so hard to move beyond," end quote. The proposed book also outraged the family of Ron Goldman, who criticized the publisher for, quote, "helping a murderer get his voice out there," end quote. According to lawyers for the family, they plan to attempt to garnish any earnings Simpson might get from the book. Remember, Fred Goldman, Ron's father, was awarded $33.5 million by a jury in 1997 for the wrongful death of his son. However, Simpson never paid this judgment due to a California law that prevents pensions from being used to satisfy judgments, and the fact that the bulk of his income comes from his NFL pension. Fred described the book and television interview as, quote, "an all-time low and morally reprehensible to me. To think you were willing to give somebody airtime about how they murdered two people," end quote. On November 16, 2006, Judith Regan issued a statement claiming that her reason for recording the interview and releasing the book was an attempt to find closure after having been a battered woman herself. She said, quote, "The men who lied and cheated and beat me, they were all there in the room. And the people who denied it, they were there too. And though it might sound a little strange, Nicole and Ron were in my heart. And for them, I wanted him to confess his sins, do penance, and to amend his life. Amen," end quote. Over a dozen Fox affiliates refused to carry the special or decided to air it, but devoted local advertising time to public service announcements. Fox affiliates KCPQ in Seattle, owned by Tribune Company, and XETV in San Diego, Tijuana, were both reportedly undecided. Each indicated that if they aired the special, they would not sell local ad time, instead giving that time to local domestic violence groups to air public service announcements. The rights to the book were held by Lorraine Brooke Associates, a shell corporation set up in the name of Simpson's children. Fred Goldman, Ron's father, sued the corporation for the book rights to help satisfy the $33.5 million wrongful civil death judgment against Simpson. After a California judge ordered the rights to be auctioned off and the proceeds to go to Goldman, Lorraine Brooke Associates filed for bankruptcy in April 2007. Fred Goldman then pursued the matter in bankruptcy court. In June 2007, a federal judge ruled that Goldman could pursue the publishing rights to Simpson's book. In July of 2007, a federal bankruptcy judge awarded the rights to the book to the Goldman family. As part of the agreement, The Goldmans must pay 10% of the first $4 million in gross proceeds to a court-appointed trustee, with most of that money going to the Brown family. The Brown family had opposed the deal, asking for a larger share of the proceeds. After Goldman had won the rights to the book, he arranged to publish it under the new title, If I Did It, Confessions of the Killer. The Goldman family's lawyers also announced intentions to pursue new publishing, film, or TV deals in order to receive some of $33.5 million awarded to them in the civil case. On August 14, 2007, it was reported that Charlene Martin, a literary agent for the Goldman family, had made a deal to publish the book under the new subtitle, Confessions of the Killer. The original text was to remain intact, with the addition of key commentary. This version of the book was published by Beaufort Books, a New York City publishing house owned by parent company Campman and Company / Midpoint Trade Books, and was released about a month later on September 13, 2007. Coincidentally, the same day Simpson participated in an armed robbery. Some of the proceeds benefit the Ronald Lyle Goldman Justice Foundation, which was planned in 1995 to fund the civil legal action against Simpson. Denise Brown, sister of Nicole Brown Simpson, opposed the publication of the book and called for a boycott. Since the interview existed on tape, executives at Fox said it was likely to turn up somewhere or be leaked. And nearly 12 years later, Fox announced that it would air a special titled O.J. Simpson, The Lost Confession, on March 11, 2018. It featured footage from the interview, as well as analysis and discussion by host Soledad O'Brien and experts. It aired with limited commercial time, which was used to broadcast public service announcements addressing domestic violence. In one portion of the interview, Regan said to Simpson, quote, "You wrote, 'I have never seen so much blood in my life,' end quote." Simpson responded, quote, "I don't think any two people could be murdered without everybody being covered in blood," end quote. Simpson initially used phrases like "I would" and "I'd think" in his hypothetical description of the event, but later shifted to using first-person phrasing with sentences like, quote, "I remember I grabbed the knife," end quote. Due to the change in phrasing, these comments were interpreted by many as being a form of confession, which stirred strong reactions in print media and the internet. Take a listen to O.J. Simpson in the interview talking about the murders. This is about 7 minutes long, but I promise it's worth it.
6 uninterrupted minutes. O.J. puts himself, hypothetically, at the scene of the crime.
The chapter 6, is called The Night in Question. And you write in the book, now picture this and keep in mind that this is
purely
hypothetical.
Yes.
Why don't you tell me what might have happened on the night of June 12th, 1994? And let's just walk through the night.
Well, first of all, this is very difficult for me to do this. It was very difficult for me because it's hypothetical. I know and I accept the fact that people are going to feel whatever way they're going to feel. They're going to, whatever they want to feel. In the book, the hypothetical is...
Charlie pulls that up.
Charlie. This guy Charlie shows up, the guy who I recently become friends with, and I don't know why he had been by Nicole's house, but it told me you wouldn't believe what's going on over there. And I remember thinking, well, whatever's going on over there has got to stop, right? So we kind of hooked up together, and I'm kind of broad stroking this. We go over. Get in the Bronco and go over.
Let's just go back and do the details. Where did you park?
Let's do the detail.
You park
in the hypothetical in the alley.
Right. You park in the alley.
Yeah.
And you put on a wool cap and gloves.
In the hypothetical, I put on cap and gloves.
Right. Yeah. And you reached under the seat for?
A knife. I always kept a knife in the car for the crazies and stuff because you can't travel with a gun. And I remember Charlie saying, "You ain't bringing that." And I didn't, right? But I believe he took it.
Charlie took the knife?
Yeah. In the book.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the back gate, you go through the back gate?
Yes.
And it was open or broken or?
I don't recall.
Okay.
I go to the front and I'm looking to see what's going on. And I can see that it appears like Nicole had candles all the time. She really did, to keep her overhead down, I think. And music was on. And while I was there, a guy shows up. You know?
So Ron Goldman comes in the back gate.
Yeah. A guy that I really didn't recognize. I may have seen him around, but I really didn't recognize him to be anyone. And in the mood I was in, I started having words with him.
He says to you, "I just came by to return a pair of glasses. Judy left them at the restaurant."
Yeah, words to that effect, yes.
And he was
I don't know if I believed it or didn't believe it. It was pretty much immaterial because, I was more concerned about everything that was going on, and was fed up with it, I guess. And
you get into a fight. Nicole comes out.
A verbal
fight.
Got a little loud, and by that time, Nicole had come out, and we started having words about who is this guy, why is he here, what's going on.
And she says, "This is my house, get the F out of here."
Yes, and which I didn't like because, once again, this is the same person, and if you read the book, you'll see some things that happened in the 2 weeks leading up to this that were very, very irritating, and I think Charlie had followed this guy in, wanted to make sure it was no problem. Then he brought the knife. As things got heated, I just remember Nicole fell and hurt herself. And this guy kind of got into a karate thing. And I said, "Well, you think you can kick my ass?" And I remember I grabbed a knife. I do remember that portion, taking a knife from Charlie. And to be honest, after that, I don't remember. Except I'm standing there and there's all kind of stuff around and
what kind of stuff?
Blood and stuff around. I hate to say this, but this is hypothetical. I'm sorry. Right. I know we got to back up again.
Right. That's okay. I'm going to back up.
This is hard. This is hard.
I know. I'm going to back up to
try to make people think that I'm
I know. You wrote in the book, "I had never seen so much blood in my life."
Yes.
You're covered, the scene. Can you describe it?
It's hard for me to describe it, I'm telling you. I don't think any two people could be murdered the way they were without everybody being covered in blood. And of course, I think we've all seen the grisly pictures after. So, yeah, I think everything would have been covered in blood.
And what goes through your mind at a time like that?
I don't know. It's like, what happened?
Right. Mm-hmm. You write about removing a glove before taking the knife from Charlie.
I had no conscious memory of doing that, but obviously I must have because they found the glove there.
And blacking out. Have you ever blacked out before?
Not to my knowledge. No. Of course, if something like this would take place in anybody's life, if it were to happen, I would imagine it's something that you would probably automatically have trouble wrapping your mind around it. It was horrible. It was absolutely horrible.
You see bloody footprints and you decide to take off.
Yes. Actually, I believe Charlie kept saying, "We got to get out of here."
And in the book, you describe taking off your shoes, your pants, and your shirt and dropping it in a bundle. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And do you remember what happened?
Because what are you going to do with it? Somebody's got to get rid of, as you may have called during the trial, it said, "Where are the bloody clothes?" So somebody had to get rid of the bloody clothes.
Right. And you had left your keys and wallet in your pants pocket, and you had to go back and get it?
To be honest, I think I know that to be true. Yes.
And Charlie is hysterical, screaming, "Jesus Christ, RJ, Jesus Christ!" And you tell him to shut up.
Yeah, he's in a panic. He was in a panic, and I'm telling him to shut up. Let's get out of here.
So you get back in the car. You take in your clothes, put them in the bundle,
and drove back and it parked a block away because I knew the limo would be there, and came across the backyard through the 2 tennis courts and came through the house.
So you went through the neighbors.
Yeah. He had a tennis court, then I had a tennis court.
And you go into the house, and what happens in the house?
I ran upstairs to take a shower. I actually ran upstairs and took some of my bags and came back downstairs and put them out front.
Many people believe this was Simpson confessing to the double murders of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman. His demeanor and actions during this interview were unsettling to watch and listen to. There are so many red flags, but he states it is all hypothetical. Some people believe that Simpson's oldest son, Jason, committed the murders and that he helped his son cover up the crime. Others say that it had to be Simpson, given the blood evidence found at the scene, in the home, and in the Bronco. Some say if it wasn't Simpson, then it was someone who knew the family well enough that Kato trusted, since Akitas are known to be fiercely protective and loyal to their owners. Sadly, this is a case that will forever be debated about who was responsible for the deaths of Ron and Nicole. Everyone is entitled to their own opinions and theories, but we need to be respectful of one another, especially because there is just so much hate and anger in this world. So let's try to be better and debate respectfully. Because at the end of the day, 2 people's lives were brutally stolen from them with so much hatred and anger inflicted on them. Let's not continue that hatred and anger amongst each other. The murders of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman remain a significant and tragic event in American history, sparking intense media coverage and raising crucial discussions about domestic violence, racial tensions, and the criminal justice system. The loss of Nicole and Ron devastated their families, friends, and all those who knew them. Their untimely deaths sparked a highly publicized trial that captivated the nation, forever changing the lives of those involved. Despite the immense grief and turmoil they endured, Sydney and Justin have shown remarkable resilience and strength. They have honored their mother's memory by advocating for victims of domestic violence and raising awareness about the issue. Nicole Brown Simpson's legacy as a mother lives on through her children, who continue to carry her love and spirit with them. Her devotion to Sydney and Justin reminds us of the profound impact a mother's love can have on her children's lives. Ron Goldman's family and friends remember him as a kind-hearted and compassionate individual whose life was filled with promise and potential. His tragic death served as a catalyst for change, shedding light on issues of domestic violence and inspiring countless individuals to seek justice for victims. And that's the case of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman. I hope it really showed through trying to tell a different side of their case for these guys and not make it all about O.J. Simpson and everything that happened with the trial, but to really highlight and showcase the victims in this. If you haven't done so already, I cannot recommend enough going and listening to Ron's sister's Kim's podcast called Confronting O.J. Simpson. She also has another podcast called Media Circus, which is so fitting considering how this case became such a media circus. As always, I appreciate you guys and everything that you do with listening in and downloading the episodes. Be sure to like and subscribe to Crime Connoisseurs wherever you get your podcasts, and share it with your friends. You can follow us on Instagram at Crime Connoisseurs. And if you have a case suggestion, feel free to click on the link and fill out the form in the Instagram bio, or send me an email at crimeconnoisseurs@gmail.com and in the subject line, put case suggestion. In the meantime, keep it classy, connoisseurs, and I'll catch you on the next case. Are you tired of settling for subpar cat food? It's time to upgrade your cat's dining experience with Smalls, the ultimate gourmet meal for your feline companion. Say goodbye to generic one-size-fits-all cat food. With Smalls, you can rest assured that your furry friend is getting the nutrition they deserve. Join the thousands of cat owners who have made the switch to Smalls and see the difference it can make in your cat's health and happiness. Treat your cat to the finest dining experience with Smalls. Visit smalls.sjv.io/ccpod now to order your first box. That's smalls.sjv.io/ccpod. Choose Smalls because your cat deserves the best.